Okay, I think we're live. Double check on the stream schedule, but okay. So in today's stream, I want to get some polishing done on this drone AI. Because right now they're just training, and there are a few things that I want to change that I've done in previous simulations that I want to do to this. For instance, you can't tell which drone the camera's looking at, so I want to update that first. And I also want to show the controls of the drone on the screen. The asset that I'm using for the drones right now has that ability. So I'll just probably hook into that and use that. But another thing that I'm thinking of doing is actually creating the drones myself, because these are pretty inefficient drones. They're pretty good for a game, but when you want to have hundreds of them on screen at once, they run into some performance issues because they're just doing a lot more than what's necessary. So one of the things that I want to do on this stream is just see if that's even possible and how difficult it would be to recreate an FPV drone like this. I think it might be a little difficult, so we'll see if it happens. But right now they're training, and you can see they're getting a little better. I have to just check my stats real quick, make sure everything's working. I was planning on streaming this on Twitch, and I was also planning on starting at 12 p.m., but there was just a lot of technical difficulties that I wanted to iron out before I started. All right, there we go. Now the stream shows up in YouTube Studio, or not? Yeah, YouTube Studio. Okay. So I'm not sure if I actually added. So I did add some changes since the last stream. I know it was forever ago. It was probably like a month ago. Where is Git? Okay, so let's talk about some of those changes real quick. So here was the last stream right here. Since then, I added controls the drone script and gave costs. Okay, so I made the controls public, I believe. What are the basics to start AI in games? Oh, hello, I didn't see your first message. It depends on what you want. If you're using Unity and you just want to get an AI in a game, you should look into their ML agents. But that's if you want to make AI that is learning how to play on its own. If you want to make an AI for a game that is rule-based, that's a lot different, where like you program what you want it to do and give it exactly the right steps. That could lead to better gameplay, I guess, if you give it rules. But having AI that learns how to drive around tracks and stuff like that is also cool. But for this, it's kind of more of a educational, I guess, type of neural network where you make everything from scratch and see what you can make it learn. Like right now, just since I've started the stream not too long ago, they're already figuring out a little bit of flying. Okay, let's just catch up to speed with what happened. Okay, so that's the only change in that. I clamped the outputs of the network. By that I mean, it used to be any number, but I made it so it's in between -1 and 1 because the numbers were just getting out of control. And it was just messing up the network. So clamping this just makes it a little better. Matthew Mercado, welcome. That's just an update to the prefab. That's a random update. Okay, so I did make a cost down here as well. So I didn't want them to randomly spiral out of control. That's what they previously were doing. Like right now you can see that their movement's a little smoother. It looks more human-like. Previously, they're still like doing a 360 slowly, but previously the strategy that they learned was to just spin really fast, and somehow they learned how to control it, so they were like kind of spiraling around the track like crazy. And I want them to look a little bit more human-like, and I also think it will lead to better results down the road. So the first thing I did was give them a cost for just using any action. I tweaked this a little bit in an update later on, but basically it just subtracts from the score if they're using a action. And in this update, I also made the action cost public, so I could change it while I am running the simulation, so I could actually tweak it on the fly. Hey Maggie, what's up? Let me see if I can show you guys that. Oh, I can't because the game view doesn't go. Scene view doesn't go over the game view. But basically, there's just a number that I can control to make it make that punishment stronger. So if I want their actions to be very smooth, I can increase the punishment for that. To make that even better, because that was still leading to some spinning, I made it exponential. So if they move the throttle a little bit, it doesn't punish them that much. But if they move it a lot, well, not the throttle, it's basically all the other ones. I actually removed the throttle in this update because the throttle, they always want to be pushing 100% to go as fast as possible. So it didn't make sense to punish them for doing that. So I removed that. You can notice it's not down here. But then I added an exponential punishment to everything else. So the yaw, the pitch, and the roll. So that way they're rewarded for making smaller, smoother movements. And if they just yank the stick to the side, they're punished a lot more than they are for using it smoothly. Because previously they would just get stuck using one ability all the way maxed out. Like they would just be turning completely left the entire time, spinning, and they would adjust the other two. I want them to adjust all three values and tweak it. So we could probably see that now that if we look at one of them, let me get this scene back in control. This back in here, there we go. So we look at this first drone here. This is actually the drone that the camera's on because it picks the first one. We could see that these values right here are all basically in the middle, and that is what I fixed. Previously, one of these or two of them would just go all the way to the side, left or right, and it wouldn't make fine-tuned movements. They're kind of doing it right now, but they're still learning, where they like spin around real crazy. And here's what I was talking about. Here's the cost of that. This is the action cost, so each action costs them. Oh, I'm not sure why my chat isn't showing up in Streamlabs. Oh well, I can see it in YouTube. This looks insane already. Thanks. I did also add this looking away from target cost. So I want them to look where they're flying, because if you look at the camera right now, it's basically unusable. If I switch to first person view, yeah, that's not very viewable. So one way to fix that is by, oh, I messed up the other camera too. What do I do? Let me just fix this real quick. I think the angle has to be 45. There we go. So you can see it's following this drone right now. I want to make it obvious that it's doing that. Like, you just have to guess that it's the one in the middle that the camera's following. Is that all the updates? Let's see. If you guys have any questions, I know I'm going real fast right now. Just catching everything up to speed of what I did off stream, because I just do this a little bit at a time sometimes. I like to try to do everything on stream though. Yeah, so this is just basically tweaking that punishment, that exponential thing. I did something wrong where it was not working correctly, and I fixed that. Okay. Now let's talk about today's stream, specifically. I want to maybe start off by changing the color of the drone in focus, or putting an aura around it so you know that that's the drone we're looking at. I'm not sure how exactly I want to do that visually, but that's the plan right now. I also want to, maybe before that, I want to get the drone that's in first place, because right now we're just following a random drone and it keeps flying off to the side. I'd rather follow the drone that's doing the best. So we could do that. Actually, should open Notion. These are very old to-dos. like I clamped the network outputs. I talked about that. Give them a reward for looking at the target. Did that. I just mentioned that. It's basically a punishment. Yo, great god of fire. Welcome. I'm not sure what that to do was. This is the problem with not being detailed. It could be helpful to have the drone in first be a different color. Yeah, that's basically what I'm gonna do. That could be a second thing where I have the drone. I said car. Where I have the drone in first be a different color, and then also the drone that the camera's looking at be a different color, because they don't have to be the same drone in the future. But right now, to fix that, I'm just gonna make the drone in first place be the one that the camera's looking at and change the color. So it's basically all three things happening at once. So that might be a big majority of today's stream. I would like to get into some other AI stuff though, too. So we'll try to get that stuff done quick. And the drones. I'm just reading the to-dos that I did last time. Set up Discord. I kind of did that. I didn't set it up though. It just exists. Give reward for pointing towards direction of movement. I kind of did that, but I didn't. I gave them a reward for looking at the target. This is a different idea, I guess, where I reward them for looking where they're going. It doesn't necessarily have to be towards the target or not. That might work better for making it look more human-like. I did that. Allow a reward and punishment values to be changed during runtime. Done. Okay. Add exploit option. That's important for performance of the AI. Make track for the fly around. Obviously did that. But I would like to make a nicer track. Would like to show the stats of the training as well. Okay, and some of the things that I just talked about was make camera focus on best drone, and then change color of focused drone. And I could probably copy some of the code from the car AI, because I literally just did that a few weeks ago. So we'll probably open that project up and take a look at it. What else? Show controls on screen. On screen for drone in focus. And by in focus, I mean that the drone that we're looking at. Add loot boxes. Oh, that's definitely coming. I got a whole battle pass planned. But in my game, the thing is, you can't open loot boxes. You can just collect them. What's the name of the program you're using for the to-do list? It's called Notion. I like it a lot. I use it for literally everything. It has my... Basically now, it used to just be for projects, but basically now I have everything in there. Right now you're only seeing just the software page with all my projects that I usually work on stream. But I use this for everything. It's amazing. There's so much you could do in it. I could give you... Yeah, I'll just leave it. It basically works off of databases, and you could just change the view of things. So these are just Trello boards, but you could also see it as a list. And there's so much you could do. You could add so many different tags and have nested pages. So each of these to-dos could be a page if I just click on it. Like now I could just start typing in the to-do. And you could nest them infinitely. So let's say if I wanted to add a view, I could change it to a calendar. So I could add a field on each to-do where I give them a date, and it would show up on the calendar. Like, oh, I want to do these things today, so I'll add them to the to-do list. But yeah, I'm a huge Notion fan. Well, let's see how our drones are doing. They've just been training in the background for a while. They're doing pretty bad. Okay, good to know. I've seen better performance out of these guys. Okay, that's actually a little better. We were just following a bad one. Maybe if I stop following the bad ones, and I just look at them. Okay. They're doing decent. They have a high score of 6 whatever, 600,000. I should probably rein in those numbers a little bit. But that basically means they hit 6 targets, because each target is like 100,000 points for some reason. I just ramped that up a ton because they weren't going after targets in the beginning. I could probably fix that now though. Oh, you know what I want to show also? Which target the drone is, the focus drone is flying towards next. So like change the color of the next target so you know where it's going. Because right now it's pretty obvious they're like in a line, but when you get over here it's gets tricky. Like, is it going after this one or does it jump over here? Like when they're all clustered together. Probably change this map a little bit too, because this is literally the car AI map. It's the skin of it. Like if you look at the two, they overlap exactly. But I just added these dots instead and deleted the track. So let's get started. So we have our camera script. This is the main camera, and it chooses a drone here. This camera, this drone camera actually came with the asset, so I didn't make it, so it might be a little harder to use than the car one because I made that one. But I'm also not sure if I love this camera because it's very static. The one that I made for the car one just slowly followed it, like it looked smoother. So I might do that as well. So I might just replace this camera completely. Why are these guys doing so bad? Let's decrease the randomness a lot, so they all behave similarly. I really want to add these controls to the screen as well, so I don't have to adjust anything not on the screen, basically. I want people to be able to download this and not need Unity to adjust things. I guess we could start by looking at some code. The main camera. I guess I could look at this script. I'm actually not sure, because this is an asset that I bought, so I don't know if I want to show the script to it on stream, if that makes sense. But the camera asset isn't really anything special. It's really the drone stuff that I wouldn't want to show. Which is why I kind of want to make my own too. Because I realized that. I was like, should I be streaming other people's assets? But I mean, I guess you could use it in your game. So it's a gray area, I guess. This script, it's open. Do I even have it? Okay, this doesn't show anything. Let's see if there's anything useful in here. Let's see what my camera used to do. So these are all the asset scripts I'm trying to move away from. So choose target. And that's how I used to choose the target of the main camera. So this is a remnant of the car AI, because you can see it says jump, drift, and boost. Okay, so it uses tags to find an object. And at the start, it gets just the first car it sees, which is currently how ours is always working. It just gets the first car and doesn't change. But then, on a random time interval, I'm not sure if I should make this bigger. But on a random time interval, it checks to see if it should change targets. And if change target equals true, it sets it to true. And it's random, so it doesn't instantly switch when somebody gets the best score, because that led to a lot of jittery movement. But but this is the trigger that makes the camera switch, and then the camera actually switches here. So we set change target, and then if change target, we check all the cars, see which one has the best score, and we set the target to the car with the best score. Yeah, because right here, if score is greater than best score, that's the new car with the best score, so we update the camera to follow that. We are still getting cars, which is a problem. So I think I could adjust this script to make it work for drones. It's basically what I'm getting at. And that could be the easy way to get the car that's in first. This also has some UI elements, which I don't have yet, because these were all for the car. I could just make my own UI elements, because it does come with some pretty good ones on the I think this camera thing. Where is it? Oh, I must have shut it off at some point. I don't know when. Why are these drones doing so bad? I'm a little confused. Usually they do a lot better. You know what? Let's I think it's the punishments that I added. Sometimes I have to tweak them in the beginning, because right now the action cost is, let's make it 0. So they don't get punished for actions, and they don't get punished for not looking at the target. Let's just see what they can figure out, if that helps them. We'll let them train for a little bit in the background again. I'm really confused why. Oh, there it goes. Okay, the chat wasn't working on Streamlabs for a minute. Actually, since I started the stream, I said to refresh it, I guess. You know what I could just do? Let's just load it nice looking around, because these are taking forever to train, and I have that ability, so let's use it. The only thing is, I never know where the file gets saved. I have to memorize this. So what do I have to do? I have to go to JSON. So what is that? Exponential tests. Okay. This is just me finding the folder. Open path. Okay. So here are all our brain files. I save them every 100 rounds automatically. So if you see the simulation freeze on a round, it means it's like the 100th round, and it saves the file, which is all the brains. So we have one right here, 5-5, which is yesterday. No, 2 days ago. It was saved yesterday though. I started it 2 days ago, but let it run for an entire day. Let's see if we want that one. That's a lot of files. Yeah. I've been doing this for a while. There's so many. When did I start doing this? Yeah, January. So whenever I run this program, it just saves files every 100 rounds. And I ran it for an entire day. So I started yesterday not yesterday, 2 days ago at 11 p.m. and let it go till the next day at 6:30. So let's see what that performance led to. This is what the files look like, by the way. This is actually what the neural networks look like. They're just a bunch of numbers. So this is the weights of the network. Basically all of this, there's a lot. And then I think there are biases. I missed it somewhere. The word biases is in here somewhere. I just don't know where. Oh, there it is, biases. So these are the biases. And then this is the outputs. What's the outputs? Oh, you don't even need this. These are the outputs. The outputs get calculated, so I shouldn't be saving them to the file. That's interesting. But basically, this is what a neural network looks like. This is one drone, all this blue. And this is what gets loaded into every single drone. So if you thought that was a lot of files, think of how big they are. They're all this many numbers. It's kind of crazy. So if you want to load this in, I just have to type that in and give it the round number. So I want to load that specific test. So it is, what is it? Why did I make this so long? Exponential test the date 5-5-2 and round I set to 6,100. If I have a typo, it just won't work. I press load round. Okay, since it froze, that means it's loading it in. It takes a second. And there you go, they're much better. And if we give them more time to fly around, we will see some better performance and we can track them better. Let's slow it down a bit too so we can actually see what's going on. You know, I'll just leave these guys going because they're more entertaining to watch and they're better at flying. So it'll be easier to tell which one's in first. So like I want the camera to follow this guy or one of these. It will change. I don't want it to change abruptly, which is why I have that random timer in there. But basically this is what I want to film. So yeah, right now the camera's over here. I want it to be over here. So let's work on that. So let's start off by... I don't know if I should show both at the same time, if you guys want to see that. Or if you guys mind if I just cover up this training right now. Because they're not actually training, they've trained for a whole day already. They're not going to get much better without major changes. Or a lot more time. Oh, another thing I forgot to mention, is my camera in the way? I have a nice background set up so I can leave it on, but sometimes I like to turn it off so you guys can see the stuff on the screen better. It's preference. I can switch back and forth between the two when I'm not showing things, but I just realized that a lot of the code was covered up by that. It's pretty crazy how good this green screen works, considering it's not actually a green screen. That's pretty crazy. But we have to find objects with the tag drone. I'm just going to replace car with drone everywhere. We don't have these sliders anymore in this simulation, so we're going to get rid of those. First, car, we can change the drone. You know, let's just find the word car everywhere. And replace it with drone. Easy. So then you just press enter to make the change. So that one I want to change. I can change. Oh, that one I can't change. Let me go back. So if it's lowercase, I want it to stay lowercase, so I have to put the preserve case. That's kind of cool. So now if I press enter, and that's nice. It automatically changes it to lowercase there. Okay. Drone. Wait, was that right? Oops. Yeah. Like, make sure it's all working. Okay. This is a lot easier than replacing every car. And we're good. Now we have drones instead of cars. So drone script might, why is it not like that? The score is a float, best score is an int. Can I implement Python in Unity? Depends on what you mean. Like the AI part of it, you want to implement in Python and then use that in Unity, because, or if you want to make the entire game in Python. I don't think you could do the entire game in Python, but I know that the ML agents that Unity uses actually runs using Python instead of C# like everything else in Unity. So I think the answer is yes, but they definitely had to do some tricky stuff to get that to work. But I think looking into ML agents is probably a good start because they've done it themselves. They use a Python library to train their AI. So it's possible. Why was it angry? Oh, because, yeah, I was just saying that that was an int, but this should be a float now, because I'm using floats for the drone AI for some reason. So I could add, like, the inputs as punishments, that's why. That's the only complaint it has? Okay, these sliders don't exist, so I actually don't need this whole entire function. I'll leave it in because I might add some sort of UI similar to this. Might not be turning specifically, but controls UI, something like that. Okay. So now we have to put this on into our scene. Or on our camera, so that's what we do, yeah. So I'm not sure which camera we want to use. But we have this main camera here that is already oh, I broke everything. Okay. That happens when you for some reason when I make changes in scripts, it breaks the simulation because the neural networks get reset or something like that. So I want to figure that out too, because it would be nice to be able to change the script and not have everything break while it's training. Luckily the training's saved already, but it's a hassle to have to load it back in every time. Right now, so you know what I'll do? I'll actually just type in the right name for the load to load in, so I don't have to do it every time. I think this was, oh, that's right, it was 2 days ago, yeah, okay, so that's the right name. And I think if I just leave this as load round to start, it will automatically load that smart brain. I do remember having issues starting that way, so we'll see if that works. I actually don't need to start it right now. Probably shouldn't, because I'm going to make more changes. Yeah, it's taking a while to start. My computer's fans did kick on pretty hard. That could just be all the brains being loaded in, or it could just be not working. You know what I think the problem was? Oh, is this just a bunch of errors? Oh no. Yeah, but it didn't load it in. Let's see. Yeah, that's not the brain that we want. We want this brain. Let's see if they might resurrect off the floor, because it does it instantly. It doesn't wait for the next round. Yeah, that's funny. Let's slow this down again. Again, I want these controls to be on the screen, too. Is the simulation big enough? I could zoom in. I think that would give you motion sickness, though, if you were too close. Sometimes when I look at the first-person view camera, it gives me motion sickness. I don't know if I want to punish you guys with it, but I'll just show you what it looks like for a second. Looks like this. It's like, yeah. So I made it so they have to look at the camera in the y-axis, but they found out that turning sideways meant they're still technically looking at it in the y-axis. So that's why you saw it flying sideways into the targets. It was trying to look at it, but doing it in a way that it still gets rewarded. Why is the camera broken now? Oh, it's this angle. There we go. Okay, yeah, so I want to put this choose target script on here and maybe hook it into this one for now. I might change the camera controller from this one to my own custom one, so it follows things smoother. But for now, let's just test out the choose target script. Yeah, so we're just gonna want to go down here. There should be a choose target. Is this just choose target? Okay, yeah. And we're gonna want to put this on our camera. So we take our camera here, pull choose target over. Does that not work? Okay, no. Okay, I can just put it at the bottom. Or anywhere. Doesn't let me? Oh, is it because we're running? It should work. Well, it's not running, but maybe that's the issue. No, okay. Oh, this camera's a prefab. Sure. I don't know why I'm doing it that way. I don't know why the camera's a prefab. But let's do it that way, I guess. So we need to give it the camera that it's going to control. I don't know, maybe it automatically discovers that, but the current target, it automatically finds too. I wonder if that's going to be an issue, because, oh, okay, so this is my camera. I'm a little confused. Maybe this script shouldn't go on the camera itself. Maybe it should go on the round controller object, because it looks like it just does, it actually links to the camera. I thought it had to be on it to work. Let me look at the script though, because maybe it does need to be on it, because where does it access the camera? Main camera. Oh, so it finds the object with the tag main camera. Why do I do that? I guess that works for now, but I gotta make sure that this camera's tagged that properly. Let's just run this and see what happens. We're gonna get some errors, I presume. Oh, it's still trying to load the round. That's why it's taking so long. I gotta shut that off because it doesn't work. Wouldn't the camera change based on who's in first? That's what we're trying to do. What I mean though is that you could have multiple cameras in Unity, and right now I think there's 2 in my scene. One of them just looks down and stays still, but the other one's the one that's following them all. So I need to tell the script which camera to use. What the heck happened there? Okay. So like right now, okay. Yeah, this camera's following it, but there's also, I don't know what happened there. Oh, okay. There's also this camera here, which I shut off, but it just looks that way, always. So now if I go back to the game, see, it's always, oh, I can actually move this one around. That's what this one's for. Instead of it automatically following it, I can fly this one around. So that's the second camera. So I don't want this one, which probably also has the tag main camera, which it's not. So I'm gonna untag it and give the other one the main camera tag, which it already has. So let's go back to our scene, because I don't think we got any errors. Oh, okay, tag drone is not defined. We did get errors. So our drones, which are prefab, means they're down here in a folder. Don't have the tag drone. They have the tag player. I don't think I use this anywhere, so I think it's safe to just add the drone tag, because I think that makes more sense. Because we don't actually have players, that was probably just added because normally you use this in a game, and the player would be controlling it. So let's add the drone tag, and go back to the drone, and give it the drone tag. So now that error should go away. And let's first, before I do that, I remembered that I have to get rid of this load round because it doesn't work. Okay. Let's see if we get errors again. Down here. That round started sooner. Object reference not set to an instance of an object. Let's take a look at our camera. So we have camera script at the bottom. Where'd it go? Choose target, okay. So current target, none. That might be the error we're getting. Yeah, choose target, line 57, it says. So why is that none? Line 57, drone. So it should find all the objects with the tag drone, because I just did that. Let me double check that these drones do have the tag drone. Oh, they're gone. Okay, let me start it again. Okay, so there's those errors again. This drone has the tag drone. That should be working. That should be working. Did I spell drone wrong? No. So line 57 comes up, main camera. Oh, line 57 is the issue, so maybe main camera doesn't exist? That would be my hunch. But I thought I saw main camera on here, so if we go to main camera, scroll down to main camera, yeah, it's right here. So it has a camera attached. What am I doing with it? So we go 57, main camera.get component in parent, camera follow. Oh, I don't have a camera follow script. This was my script. Okay. Maybe you have to type it the way it's named with the underscore. Yeah, it has it. Well, that's how it found it. The reason it's in this script right now is because it found the camera and put it here. It wasn't, I didn't type that in. Like, this is the script, so it did find it, but apparently this camera doesn't have this script. So this camera follow script is what I used to use for the cars to get it to follow it smoothly, but I'm not doing that for the drones. I'm using one that's built in. So what I need to do instead is, instead of using the camera follow script in the parent, I have to get this, what is it, this drone camera script? And I have to change our drone to be the one that we actually want. So let's see if we could find this. I don't actually see the script. Why don't I see the actual script itself? I just have to find out the name of it. I have it open over here. So it's called drone camera. So I think that would fix that. So instead of saying camera follow, we say drone camera. There it is, autofill. Okay, I can change this to drone camera as well. And that might give an error. Okay, but there's no target. So we have to figure out if we could access that R drone thing. So right here, I don't see it. Our drone. I'll try to set it and see if it autofills for me. Where are we? So in here we got, instead of target, our, oh, was that it? Our drone, okay. Equals, not the transform, just the drone. Okay, no errors. This is very patched together because I'm using my code and someone else's code, so I'm like hoping it will work, and I don't have as much confidence as I normally would. But we have to restart it and see if that's all we needed. I feel like I'm missing stuff. Okay, that's a normal error that just happens. It's because are you supposed to only have one drone in the scene? Yeah, I saw the camera jump. I don't know if you guys saw that, but it jumped for a second. You know what? Let's load our better drones in, so we can actually see one in first place. Let's slow it down. I didn't do it. I'm gonna slow it down next round. Yeah, let's make the round time 60. So, okay, jump to the front. Did you see that? So this drone's lagging behind. It should snap to the front. There we go. That's a little jittery. I don't love it, but it's better than following a drone that flies randomly off the map. So, am I able to zoom in? Yeah, it is pretty small, isn't it? That's awesome. Now that it's following, the reason I wasn't zoomed in that far was because it wasn't following the right drone, so I wanted to see more. But what I could do is I could take the drone script. This is going to change once I get out of it, and I could just change this to 25 and 25. So now we're definitely following this drone right here. But it's not in first place, so we should snap to the front. There we go. That's the drone in first place now. He gets past, so it'll just keep snapping to the guy in front. Instead of zooming in, sometimes I make the drones bigger, which also helps. I think right now the drones are actually bigger than you'd think. It looks like they're flying slow, but this is just, they're very big targets, and the drones are larger, but they don't actually change their dimensions like in terms of speed and stuff, so it just looks like they're flying slow. What I want to do is I want to fly one and get a baseline to see how fast I could do it, and then see if we could get them to get close to me or beat me. That'd be pretty cool. So that's a to-do done. Right here, make camera focus on best drone completed. Satisfying doing that. That's awesome though, yeah. Okay, so we could change the color of the drone and then add the controls for it. I like to do that. It just makes it more fun for people to watch, and I always wait too long to do that. And yeah, it's just nicer to see what the drone's thinking and doing, and make it easier to tell which one it's looking at. Because even right now, unless it's looking at the one in first place, it's hard to tell which one is in focus. How could I do that? I should look at my car changes. I don't even have to open the project. I could just look at the git commits. So these are basically the changes that I make to every project. So I have my car one here, and we should see the history. Yeah, updated visual updates before posting the video. That is what I want. So what did I do to the camera specifically? Oh, choose target? No. Scorekeeper, did I do it? Did I not update this? Oh, there's no changes. There should be this camera script in here. Okay, right here. Choose target, I changed it. Did I change it somewhere else? Choose target? Oh, okay, I changed it here, but I didn't say it did. Oh, that's because I added like a bunch of things. Made car and focus turn green so you know which one the camera's focusing. Okay. So that's how I did it in the car one. I make the car and focus turn green, and it's basically this section here. So if the current target, I get the renderer of that, and then I get the color. If it equals the color of the color, then I change it to a different color. A little confusing, but I think that's all that there is to it. What's this part for though? I don't know why this is down here. Oh, this sets the color back. I think. Yeah. So when we change to this target, we set the color, and somehow this is called to change the color back to not green. So we want this and possibly the other thing, but I'll figure out where that goes instead. So let's take this right here, and yeah, just put that in our code. If anybody has any questions about this code that I'm pasting, which I would, you guys could ask it if you feel like it. So it goes in choose target. Where did I have it? Just double check. Should put it in the right spot. So I have it after everything before I get all the tags. Where did I get it from? I made this in the car AI. I'm not sure if it's the right way to do it, but I guess I'll explain more as I set it up. So I think it goes right here. So if we are changing the target, if we're changing the target, where's current target? Oh, if current target. I just have to think about what I was thinking at the time. Just figure out where to paste this. You know what? I should just look at the actual script. That's not what I do. I wanted to open the actual project. Because let me go to driving AI. That's what so this is a separate project. It has a lot of the same files as this project because a lot of stuff gets built upon. I'd like to make everything more connected though. So we have to choose target. And right here we have if change target, then we say, so I added this. This changes the color and also oh, so we're changing the target here. Okay, I get it. So we're changing from the current target to a new target, but the current target was green, and we want to make him not green anymore before we switch to the new car. Otherwise, both cars would be green. And that did happen. I had it set up where this wasn't in there, and every time the camera would switch, it would just make another car green instead of... So by the end, all the cars turned green slowly, one at a time, because the camera would switch to it. And they wouldn't be set back to the old color. So this, I should really put a comment in here. Sets cars color back to original. When camera switches to new car. I think that makes sense. That'll help me not do the same thing next time. So now that I know what that does, we can do that. We should probably do that second. The first thing we should do is set the car, or the drone's color to something. So I do that here because I'm using this turning UI. I don't really need to do it here. Oh yeah. Hopefully that makes sense. I know I'm all over the place right now. I kind of always am though. It's just programming. So it's not as complicated as it looks. This is actually shorter. So I'm gonna just take this. Let me see what this does. Sets current target to green. Color to green. That's what this section does here. And also turns on the raycasts. So let's take this with the comment, I guess. That makes sense. Put it in our new project. So we turned off this turning UI function. So what I could do instead is just put it right in here. But I kind of like this turning UI function. So you know what? Let's just bring it back. Because I'm gonna have something similar to it. It might not be called turning UI, but let's bring it back and then comment out all the other stuff that I don't have yet. We'll slowly add that back in. So we don't have a car, we have a drone. We don't have these test materials. So I need to take that from the other script too. And basically these are the materials that hold the color that you want to switch to. So I did that here. I just called them test because I was testing at the time, but now I know that it works. Oh, that's the same project. So I can just take these. I'm gonna rename them so they're not test anymore. Material 1, material 2. Or maybe default material and focus material. Does that make sense? So that way the car that's focused has this color, and basically this is going to be, I don't know what colors they're going to be. Let's just say green for now because I think they're all green. Or were they all red? They're all green with blue trails. If I'm remembering correctly. I know they're all red with blue trails. I'm completely wrong. They used to be green. I'm thinking of the thumbnail for this stream. That is the old green ones. Okay. Hey, you know what I have to get in the habit of doing? They look so cool. Thanks. I do enjoy looking at them. It is fun. The only reason I'm not staring at them so much right now is because I know that they already trained for an entire day, so they're not going to get that much better. But when they are training, I just watch them to see if they're doing better than they did before. So it is so mesmerizing. What I want to do, I think, is actually have 2 streams up at once. Because with Twitch and YouTube, you can't stream on both at the same time. With me in the streams, like I can't be talking in both streams. But I might have one stream with just the training, and one stream with me programming. And the stream with them just training will say that I'm also streaming on the other platform. So that way I can stream on both at the same time, letting people know I'm on both at the same time, without actually being on both at the same time, if that makes sense. And that's also if you want to just keep the training up on a different window while you're watching the stream, because I keep covering it up. You want to watch the training. I know I would. That might be an idea I do. Okay. We added these materials, and I need to change it down at the bottom to use those new names. So test mat is now default material, and this one is focus material. Okay. So now I have to figure out what that means. So these propellers are so small that changing the color of the propellers is probably not the best. I'll start with that for now. I'll change the color of the propellers for now. So we look at the prefab. Oh, it's gonna break anyways. Okay, so I won't leave the simulation running right now. Okay. Oh, it's gonna start again because I clicked twice. Go to our drone prefab, and we should have colors somewhere. Oh, it's inside of it, I bet. Let me open this. Okay, yeah. So we got propellers, and they have props, which has this color, which I gave it. Oh, it's a shader. Oh no, but it's a material. Okay, so it's trail renderer 2, whatever that means. So what I want to do is take this from here and and put it onto the camera. Can I do that easily? I think if I back out of here, click on the main camera. Well, no, I can't even click on the main camera because it said I can't edit this. We'll see. Because it said it's a prefab. Prefab? Yeah. Let's just try to change it and have it pop up that thing that says I can't. So default material is going to be that red, I guess. So I think if I just drag this over, it fetches it for me. No. Oh wait, that's not what I wanted. That's wrong script entirely. That's the wrong part entirely. So let's open the prefab now. Ah, it switches away. So I don't want it to come here. Maybe it doesn't. No, it does. It opens it up. What I could do down here is just find that. Could I search for materials? I want trail renderer. That's what it is. Okay, I could do it that way. So we go back to our camera and give it trail renderer as the default material, and we'll change it to maybe one of these colors here. Let's just make it, is purple that different from red? Let's make it yellow. I think that'll be more obvious. I could change these colors later. I just want to make sure that the functionality works. This might just work. It's possible this might just work. But it's not going to be setting it back. So let's see. Nope. Oh, the camera zoomed out again. I have to do that when I'm not in play mode. Let's see, do we see any yellow propellers? I don't think so. Oh, you know what we're not even doing? This is dumb of me. So I added this turning UI function back in, but we're not using it anywhere. So this is basically like a chunk of code, and we're not using it here. All right, so now it should work. Or give us errors. So right now it's not doing either, I don't think. Let's see. Oh, I see some yellow. We should totally zoom in. Let's zoom in before we press play so it saves the change. 25. And you know what? Let's also make the drones just a little bit bigger. So they are in the prefabs. I don't know which one it is, so I'm gonna find my controls there. Here right now the scales are 1. I usually make this like 2. Or maybe I don't do it there. Maybe that's a weird place to do it, but let's see if that helps see them better. So it should be twice the size. Yeah. I see a little flicker of yellow. There you go. But is it changing it back? It shouldn't be changing back the color. Yeah, no, see now there's multiple yellow ones. Now we have to add the other fix that I said where we change it back when we switch away from the current focus. Cool. I need to figure out the color scheme too, because I don't know if yellow's good. Yellow and red I kind of don't like. I'm not sure if just changing the propellers is good enough to say which one's the focus. Keep looking at it, it is pretty cool. I might have made them too big. I might change that change back. Sorry if that's loud. I don't know if it's getting canceled out. Just leave the lid off. Okay. So now in here I added something. Let's add that chunk of code back in the other script. So if current target do all this. And we don't have array casts, so I'll just delete that. So that goes right here. And we have our new material names, which is focus material. So we change it from the focus material back to default now. It's the opposite of before. Before we're changing it from default material to the focus, which is yellow. And now we're doing the opposite. Let's say yellow. It's actually not green, it's red. Okay. And we don't have this show raise thing because we don't have raycasts. I might add raycasts to these drones at some point because it would be cool for them to be able to know how far away walls are and things like that. Right now they're just flying in open space, so they don't need that. But yeah, I'm leaving the lid on. So I think this should work. Right now, yeah, I see there's a bunch of yellow ones. That's because the camera looked at all the yellow ones so far. Let's restart it. I'm gonna actually set the drones back to 1 regular size, I think. Oh man. Let's see. Okay. So we shouldn't, let's load in. Actually, we'll just leave them like this for now. Now they look so tiny. Okay. Yeah, I think it's working. Yeah, because it switched and it un-yellowed. So now we know which drone it's focusing on. And we could go back to loading in some better drones. So let's change the speed to 2. Let's load that round in. They're gonna fly off the ground because they got a new brain. Okay, they did it for a second. But now you can see which one it's looking at. Slightly, you can just see that slight little bit of yellow, but it is much more obvious now. Even just with that little bit of color. It's probably harder to see on stream than it is right here, but so maybe I should make them a lot bigger. I have to keep remembering that I have a big monitor in front of me and some people might be looking at this on smaller screens. So let's, you know what, we could just zoom in like this. Hacks. Actually looks horrible. Let's, okay, that is another to-do done. We at least have the functionality of this ready. So what I want to get in the habit of doing is when I move things to completed, I update the Git repo. I didn't do it for the first one, but I'm going to do it now. So what you do here is you just say what changes you made. Oh, this is the car one. Okay, so I go back to the drone. And we see what changes I made. I made a bunch. What did I do? Okay, so I did those 2 to-dos. I made camera change focus based on score and changed the color of the drone in focus. Yeah, I probably shouldn't have made this that long. I was thinking the same thing. It just gives me a hint that says I should put it in the description instead, but I already typed it. You push this up, and now the changes are saved. Alright, show controls on screen for drone in focus. How do I want to do this? Do I want to make my own control shower? It's actually not that hard. Oh, but it kind of is. What do you guys think? Any thoughts on what I should do next? If nobody objects, I think I'll work on this next, but I could also work on something else. So right now we're just focusing on visuals, which does make it look a lot better now. Because it is following the best drone sometimes. No objection? Okay. I could probably change how often it switches. Okay, it does it kind of often. Oh, but you know what? I have this action cost on again, so it might be messing up their performance. Let's give them more time and see how far they get. 60 seconds times 2, so it's actually going to only be 30-second rounds. I think it will take effect next round. You know what? Let's give it like a long time. It already restarted. Okay, it switches to that guy. It's working well. It does linger on a drone for a little too long before it switches. I did have more human-like performance before when I had these cranked all the way up, but I wanted to see them fly faster, so I turned it down again. It's pretty crazy though. Drones are hard to fly, like the FPV drones, and they do a pretty good job. But they did learn a spinning strategy that I'd like to eliminate. So the way to get rid of that spinning strategy is to just crank up this action cost. You can see, if I look at their controls right now, where is that? Here. You see how this pitch goes all the way up to 1, and this yaw goes all the way to the left? Those would be big punishments because it's exponential. The bigger the change they make, the more extreme the punishment is. So them always often doing that to spin real quick would be a big punishment if I had that other value cranked up more. So I could do that here. But then it also makes them not fly as fast because they're too worried about flying well. And they start to forget how to fly fast. So it's a balancing act. So if I change this to 10, their scores will go down. But they'll start to fly straighter. It'll take a while though, because these guys train for a long time, so they're pretty set in their ways now. It takes a lot to change their behavior. Sorry, no, not there, but... So we want to show the controls for this guy now. So show what he's thinking. I don't know if that's as useful for the drones as it was for the cars, because it's going to look pretty random. Because when you just look at these numbers, does it really mean anything? I mean, we are in double speed, so it's probably not so good to look at. And they also aren't flying human-like I want. So maybe when they are flying human-like, it'll be more interesting to see their controls. But right now, when they're just randomly sliding things left and right, it's not that useful to look at. I don't know. But let's stop that for now. What I need to look at is the camera still on the first one? It tries to be. It does have a slight delay for when it switches because if I get rid of, I'll show you what it looks like if I get rid of the delay. This is a change that I made during the car, but it's good to show why. So I didn't make this change in this project. So in the choose target, we have this random fixed update thing. So if I change this to 0, 0, then that will be different. Hold on. Okay, so this means that it's always true basically because it's picking a random number between 0 and 0. This might actually give me an error. I'm not sure if it's able to do that. Why is there a delay? Yeah. Let's see. If that doesn't work, it might give me an error. I'm not sure if you could pick a range between 0 and 0. Let's see. Okay. So if we bring back in the better drones, you're gonna see the camera probably goes crazy. Let's see. Let's make them slower again, increase the time, and load the round. So let's see if, yeah, okay. So you see how the camera just jumps like crazy? Not very pretty. That's because it's instantly switching to the car with the highest score. Or the drone with the highest score. So I added the delay so it doesn't do it this often, if that makes sense. But if one's clearly in the lead, it will keep the camera on it. But like right now you can tell like those two are competing for the lead, because they're also not just getting a score based on who goes the furthest. It's also who's doing the least movements. But yeah, this is why I switched it. It's a little hectic in the beginning when they're all close neck and neck. But now once one gets the lead, it doesn't switch as often, but still too much. So maybe maybe I had that too high. This was 500 before. Maybe I'll make it 200 because it wasn't switching fast enough, I don't think. Let's see what that looks like. Okay. I should just keep this at 2 times speed. I always forget to do this in between rounds, like things that I want to stay saved. There must be a way to do that in Unity. I just don't know it yet. How to get settings to stay from play mode to not. There must be a way to save it. Let's also make the round time longer and load in our drones, and let's see if this looks a little better. Because before it was staying on the one not in front for too long. Google it? Yeah, I should Google it. That's a little faster, but not as crazy as before. So that guy fell off, it switches. That's pretty good. Because before it wasn't looking, like you said, like you were like, is it still following one in first? It was staying too long on the one that wasn't. So it fell off track, so it should switch pretty quick. That's more reasonable, and it's not as crazy as it was. Sometimes you get a switch like that, where it jitters a little bit, but not very often. I could deal with that. Cool. Good question, though. I'm glad I showed that, because it showed how bad it was before. I forgot how bad it used to look. Especially with the drones. It's much worse with the drones than it was with the car, because they're flying all over the place. But yes, that brings me back to the showing the controls on the screen. So there was something on this camera in the past that showed that. I don't know where it went. Did I just shut it off? Or did I actually get rid of it? Oh, drone UI. Okay, this is it. So what if I turn this back on? All right, undeactivate it. Okay, so there's our controls. That's what it shows. It's actually kind of cool to look at. So I think what we need to do is somehow, it's not on obviously right now. How do I tell it which drone to look at? That's my own question. So there's a bunch of things. Event system, what's this? First selected. So is that how it works? Like if I just take a drone and put it in here. That's not how it works. I think that should be how it works though. The FPS is working, so it has some information about the game. Joystick throttle. Why is this off? Oh, that's like a throttle. That's kind of cool. The throttle bar. Motor UI. Oh, that's kind of cool too. It shows how much power is being put out by each motor. I like that. That was giving me errors though. Oh, so drone movement, where's that? This is the drone movement. What if I just take this, drag this guy on top? Oh, that's what I did. Maybe it wants the movement script only? I don't know. Oh, you know what this is? This is a drone that I could probably control by hand. Because it's not a clone. Yeah, he just fell right there. Okay. How can we get these controls to work? It must be something to do with it right here. I think that's what the event system controls. Or are these all in here? No. All these things are below it. So it is connected to this drone, but I think I did that manually. Yeah, I did. Thinking, what if I take that drone movement thing, bring it onto the event system? Oh, that's not what I wanted at all. Literally not what I wanted. Okay. Let's make those changes now, because maybe it has to start when we start, and it's a prefab too. So maybe if I open the prefab itself, well, there's a lot more information now. Let's go back. So we turned on the system. Let's run it now and see if it picks up a drone. So the drones actually aren't doing anything, so it's hard to tell if that's true or not. Let's oh, I think I see some movement. I saw a little bit of movement. It's hard to tell because they're actually not doing much, but let's load in the more movement drones. Load round. Alright, that was just a placebo effect. It's not moving. Why? How come they're dropping? That was before they were trained. That's what they start doing before they train for a while. They just slowly learn to use the throttle to fly. Then they learn how to fly instead of fall. I bet you it's using this tag player. I just switched the tag from player to something else. I wonder if that's important. It's a good question. It probably is. Let's see. If I change this drone to player, okay, that doesn't work either. But I might need to do it from the start. Okay. So I want to get this to work. Target display. Okay, display 1. It's definitely the event system, isn't it? Or does each little section control its own thing? So this is the speed manager. So this probably controls the velocity. Yeah, you track the object. So I bet if I change this to one of the drones, that will work. Yep, there we go. We have a velocity. Do I have to do that for everything? So every little UI element, I have to update the tracker. So in here, drone. There we go. We have movement. Okay. That's actually not that bad. But it is for each individual screen thing. Okay. At least then I know why it wasn't working. So when we choose our target, we're gonna have to, yeah, that is kind of a lot. So we're gonna have to find these scripts and set the right object to that thing. I feel like the event system should do that. What is, oh, the event system isn't really like a script, is it? Oh no, it is a script. What is this? No, event system's just like a Unity thing. Okay. So I'm gonna do now. Yeah, it's not the event system, so I'm just gonna start replacing everything. The first thing we'll do is, I like the controls, so we'll do the controls first. And they are in the, what is this? The speed manager. No, that's the speed manager. They're in the, which one was it? Joystick motion? Yeah. Okay, so we have to go into this joystick movement display manager. But we have to get the canvas. Oh, I could just link these in, because okay, this is easier than I thought. So we have our camera right here. We have this choose target script. I could just add those scripts as scripts. So I could say public, what is it called? You have to give it the name of the script. So it is over here. We're gonna move this for a second. Like if statements. Yeah, this is like a Unity specific thing. So right now, my contact. So, okay, it's called Joystick Movement Display Manager. I bet if I start typing that, it'll pop up. So we say Joystick Movement Display Manager. That's what we want. We're gonna call it, why is this not, did my keyboard just die? No. Dying? Yeah. 1 second. I have a wire right here. That's the wrong end of the wire. joystick display. I'm naming it this right now. So when you make something public in Unity, it makes it show up in the script. So when I click over here, you'll see it in the other script that I had before. So if I go to, I didn't save it yet because I want to show you it pop up. So if I go to the camera, you see in the camera it has these things here. They're here because they're called public over here. So only the ones that say public show up there. So these ones don't show up because they're not public. You could make them public if you want to change it, but they don't show up. But when I press save now, and I click over here, it's going to show up here, and it allows you to link things together. So now I could link this script, the joystick movement display. I could link it to that script, and it knows how to find it. So now I have access to that script, so I can set which drone is the one that we want to focus on. And it does use those if statements that we talked about. It's just that the if statement's already there, so I don't need to do them again. I could show you them though. So we have to do that for every one of these. So I'll do them all at once now, because we also need tilt, angular rotation, speed. So we're gonna do that for everything. Public, tilt manager, tilt display. I'll just call them all this, like, show us what? Public, angular rotation. I'm not sure if it's angular rotation manager, but angular rotation, I spelled angular wrong, display. And then I might have to take my context out soon. This one's being like weird. I think I'm just staring at my screen for too long. Need to blink more. So we need the velocity one as well. What is it called? Speed manager. Okay, that should be everything for now. If I want to add another one, I can. But now we link all those scripts, because once I click over here, they're gonna pop up, and I just drag over the right one into the right spot. Okay, so tilt display, tilt manager. It's there. And then we have the angular rotation goes into angular rotation, and speed goes into speed. And now we can use those in our script. Main reason why we did all that. Okay, so here are the if statements. They're a little complicated because there's a bunch of things going on, but basically if we want to change the target, oh, but this is where we set it away from the current one. Okay, so this is where we switch drones, and we switch back the material. So we want to switch to a new car and set that car to be the one that shows up. We could do that in here actually, because if the drone has the default color, basically, that means it wasn't in focus before. So if we're switching to the new color, which is the focus material, it means we're focusing on that drone. So we could actually in here change the UI elements to show the new drone, the new focus controls on screen. That's what we're going to be doing. So now that we have all those scripts, we could probably start by changing one of them. What was the first one called? I'll do one at a time. Joystick display. We're going to say joystick display dot. I think it was DMS, which stands for drone something. So we got drone dot drone, no. Drone dot what? We put in there. I'm just wondering what goes in here. So we go to drone joystick movement. Right here, drone movement script. Where's the drone movement script? Oh, I think I have to do get component and child. Get component. I don't even think I need in child. I need to get component drone controller. Drone movement controller? Is that what it was? Yeah, drone movement. Okay, perfect. Now, when I restart the simulation, we should automatically have those controls that were on the screen. Or here, they're not here. We should automatically have these populate when I restart it though. But I think we're having an error. Maybe we're not, maybe that was just because it didn't actually restart yet. Okay, so they're not actually moving, so let's load in the better brain. I would like to not have to do this manually every time. It still looked like he wasn't doing anything, except maybe using throttle a very little bit. Don't know if it's working. Is it breaking? Choose target 106. It is breaking. What's breaking? Game reference not set to an instance of an object. So it's automatically being set to this one. It's automatically being set to the one that isn't active. And it's not being changed away from it for some reason. But I could just drag on a drone and it works. Yeah, now you can see the controls are... Or it's not directly in the center anymore. Why is that? It's not switching. Okay, let's figure that out quick. Maybe that's not how you do it. I think it is, but maybe I'm wrong. Let's try it for a different one. Let's try it just for the speed one, because that one I think is less complicated. So we're gonna do like basically the same thing and see if that doesn't work as well. I'm not expecting it to, because we're doing the same thing. Definition of insanity right here. Oh, I wanted to see what. So we got the speed display, speed manager, tracking object. So you give it the rigid body this time. So speed display dot tracking object. Tracking object. Okay, that's what I'm typing. Speed display dot tracking object equals drone dot rigid body. Get component rigid body. This should work. Okay, I'm just gonna run that, see what happens. This is now line 107, so yeah, let's restart it. Those errors should go away and we should get new ones. Okay. Current target.turning UI. Not set to instance of an object. Current target.turning UI. Oh, that's a function. That's the problem happening. Yeah? Game object is drone. Oh, you know what? I'm gonna try something. Maybe it's because we're doing it in this function and doesn't have access to the public things, but I think in Unity you do have access to the public things all the time. So current target, we're just gonna put here. This shouldn't change anything. It should still give me an error, just in a different spot. If it does give me an error, then I know what's wrong. Still gives me an error, different spot. Oh, you know what? I bet you I have to get the actual object. I didn't want to do this. No, this makes so much more sense. So all of these are wrong. So we're gonna say public object. No, object. Or game object is what you do. Game object. Drone UI. Equals. Oh no, not even equals. We'll just set it in the editor. Wrong. Yeah, it is. Let's show you why. So on our camera, where we do all this stuff, this should go away. I refresh everything. Oh, there's an error in my code. Hold on. Okay, so these shall go away and be replaced with a single one when I click. Takes a second. Okay, so now we're just gonna give it the entire drone UI canvas. I don't know if this makes sense. I really don't. But I'm thinking that those were individual instances of scripts, not the actual object that we're trying to control. If that makes any sense. So what I want to do now is say drone UI dot get component in children, and I want to get the let's say speed manager. It shows up. That gives me hope. We're going to set that equal to speed manager dot how would you know the difference? Not sure what you mean. Let me just figure out what I'm supposed to call this. Tracking object, that's what it is. So tracking object equals current target, this basically, current target dot rigid body. Let's see if this works, and then I'll explain a little bit more why that was wrong. Whether it's a certain instance. I don't need to know the difference. Unity needs to know the difference. Okay, we have velocity. That was an issue. So basically before, what I was doing up here and all these things that I just got rid of, is these are all scripts, which is just a file filled with text. the scripts get put together into an object, and this object is called the Drone Nimble UI canvas. So this whole thing is an object, and you could have multiple objects. So there could be more than one UI canvas, and you can just turn them on and off if you want to switch between them. So we were just using the scripts themselves, which are these files. But as you can see, like this neural network file is on every single drone. So just linking to the file doesn't do anything. I have to link to the drone and then get that drone's version of this file. So I was linking directly to the files before, or the scripts. But really I have to link to the object that has that script on it and change that specific version of the script. But I was not doing that. So now instead of just, where was I? Instead of just storing these scripts directly in here, I'm getting the actual object and then reaching into that object and getting the script here. So now I'm reaching into this drone UI object and getting the speed manager. Before I was linking in the speed manager script, but it wasn't actually the speed manager that was part of this UI. A little complicated, but now it works. And so now I just have to do that for everything. And I don't want to do it every time. The other way was actually better, where I did it only when we changed the color of the drone. So right now, you can't see it, but it's literally changing that setup every single frame, which is not good to do. We only want to change that once. So we'll put it back down here. So now instead of saying joystick display.dms directly, we have to say, it's going to be very similar. Basically, this gets replaced with the get component thing. Actually, this whole thing. So we would just have to say drone UI dot get component in children. I think we have to do that because it's like nested. And say joystick stick display manager. Is that what it is? Yeah. That, and then you get it, and then you say dot DMS, which is the drone movement script. We set it equal to what we had before. So the stuff I was setting was right, it was just not done correctly. Okay. Let's do that for everything so we don't have to keep restarting. So what else is there? We have the... Oh, we could just look at what I wanted to have. Angular rotation. Okay, so you know what? I'm just gonna copy all this. Just gonna change slightly. 2 more times. We're just gonna say Angular rotation manager. And what's the other one? Oh, we just did speed. So tilt. There are a couple more too. Tilt manager. And they each have their own version of... What's this say? Oh, it's because I didn't to do one line at a time. So let me finish this one. Dot trying to read through these, see which one it is. I don't know. So we have to actually go look at that to see what it's called. Which one is that? Angular rotation? These are gonna break. Let's pause it. Angular rotation it's just called drone. So dot drone. No? Angular rotation manager dot drone. No. Okay, that's not working. Capital D. Okay, so it's not working. I'm putting it in anyways. Okay, so it says it doesn't have a drone. We actually look at the script to see what it is, what it has. Underscore drone, and it's private. But let's change that to underscore drone, I guess. Could I have accessed that? I'm not sure if it has to be public to access it. But now I should be able to just go into my target here and say underscore. Good again. Cool. Now this one, the tilt manager. I think this is the last one I'll do for now. There are a couple more that you could add, but I'm good with all this because this is tedious. A lot of little changes. I was hoping it would be just one thing that you change and it just knows the rest of them update automatically, but it doesn't look like that's the case, but it totally should be. I'm definitely doing this wrong because there's no way you would change this manually every time. What was the last one? Tilt. Okay, and it's called tilt object. So we want to set tilt.tilt, and they're all called different things. Tilt object, that doesn't exist either, which means it's probably private. Let's get back into this one now, do the same thing. Let's see if my hunch is correct. Tracking object? No, I want, maybe that is what it's called. No, public transform tracking object. In the tilt manager, is that what it's called? Oh, it's called tracking object? Oh, I was just typing in the word wrong. That's my fault, sorry. Tracking, there it is. Equals, and what is it? So you have to get the certain type of thing that is. So this is a transform. So we want to get the current target. I think that you could literally just say .transform, yeah. Okay. So we gave that this transform it needs, so now most of these UI elements should work. I don't know about this gyroscope. Maybe that's the tilt manager. Okay, you know what? I'm just not going to start this right now because this is bugging me. I keep forgetting to do this every single time I restart it. I'm going to change the speed to 2. That's basically it. I want to be able to load the round automatically, but it's broken. Maybe I could just fix that real quick. Hang on with me for a second. I'll show you guys the updates in 1 second. I just want to make it so that round thing works. So here's a moment for an if statement, Maggie. So it doesn't work. This load round thing doesn't work on the very first round because none of the drones exist yet. They get created instantly. The drones get created right after the round starts. So if you try to load the round immediately, there's no drones that exist yet. So you have to wait a second for the drones to appear. So one way that I could do that is I'm thinking maybe instead of doing it on round 1, just wait for round 2 and then try to load. So it won't work for the first round, but it will work for the second one. So what we'll do is add an if statement somewhere. So just an if, I think just an if. So it's gonna happen, we'll check it every time. So right here, this is where we check to see if to load the round. So we'll say if round number I could do is greater than 1. So if the round is greater than 1, it's not the first round, then we could do this load round thing. So I could actually put this, so basically I'm trying to say load round if the round is greater than 1. And this does that. So I could do that, I could do it like this. There's a way to clean that up, but for now, just to make it easier for you to read, I'm gonna leave it like this. So basically, if the round is greater than 1, then we load the round. So the first round, it won't try it at all, I think. So let's see if that works. So now I should be able to leave this on. We'll have to wait 20 seconds for it to automatically load, but then at least I won't have to do it by hand. So now I should be able to start this and it won't break. But they'll all just fall to the ground like they used to. Yeah, so they didn't load it in, but now it should automatically, because of that if statement, try it now. Now. It takes 20 seconds or 10 seconds. Now. So now we should have drones that work, that fly well. And it's taking a second, which is good. That means it's loading it in. And there you go. Perfect use of an if statement. So now it's not broken anymore. I don't have to do it by hand every time. Okay. And I forgot what we were doing. This stuff's working. Cool. I would love to make this bigger. So let's go to the UI. I don't know if this would be annoying to make this bigger. I don't really know if these even make sense to people. Do these controls just look confusing to you? Like this right here? So I go to... What is it, this? How do I actually look at the canvas? Oh, it's not showing. Okay, there it is. So I want to take this canvas object and make it bigger. I want the whole thing. Scale you up. Can I move it? Hey, okay. Oh, I'm changing these. Okay. I did the thing again where I changed things in play mode. It doesn't like that. But basically, I think all I had to do was increase the scale. That's a little too big. Oh, but where'd the words go? Do the words show up after you press play? They do. I wonder if the words are going to work still, if I make everything bigger. Let's make this 1.5. I think 1.5 is fine. Does that look good? Oh, Z doesn't matter. Z direction is how wide it is. Okay, so let's see if the words line up to the old way or they grew. They should have grown. Nice. I think that's a little easier to see now. And if we wait long enough, which is a little annoying, that you have to wait 10 seconds before the next round starts. We could probably fix that too. Cool. Another one that I wanted to get working was this, the motor UI, because I think it looks pretty cool. Where you can see like how much power each motor is outputting. I think that's worth doing right now. Yeah, while I'm here, I'm probably gonna not want to jump back into this again. This one's kind of pointless, the throttle, because the throttle's right here as well. It doesn't really make sense, but basically the throttle is this axis, so since it's all the way at the top, it means that the throttle's always 100%. And basically that's how you'd use the controller. You'd have the throttle all the way up, and then if you want to turn, you'd also tilt it, like an Xbox controller. I guess this really only makes sense to people that know how to fly the drones. It's a little complicated to look at, but this is basically where the sticks are on the controller. I have an Xbox controller next to me. Basically, like, you tilt this to go forward and use the throttle, and then if you want to turn, you tilt it to the side or that way, and that's what this left one is. And then this right one is just a roll and pitch. That kind of seems confusing. Roll, pitch. Oh, pitch. Okay, so if it's tilting forward, the drone's tilting forward, and if it's going side to side, the drone's rolling. So basically when it's over here, the drone's tipping to the right. And if it goes over here, it's trying to tip back to the left. And if it's in this area up here, like anywhere in this pitch box, it means it's tilting forward. So just by looking at this, it means it's tilting forward and usually to the right because it's over here. And this one's usually using the throttle 100% because it's always at the top. And it is slightly turning, like yaw is turning like this way. Roll is turning this way, like you're rolling over. Yaw is like looking left and right. So it's looking to the right and rolling to the right because it stays on this side and over here, which kind of makes sense. If you look at the drone, maybe I'm getting my left and right mixed up because it looks like it's always turning left. Oh, but you also don't know what the camera's looking at because the camera could be backwards. But just by the controls, it looks like it's always turning right and rolling right at the same time. The controls might be inverted. Which to the drone it doesn't really matter, but to us it does. I should reward them for keeping balanced. Because this is saying how tilted it is. I want one of them to stay flat. I want it to stay flat and fly towards the target, basically. That could be another to-do. I'll add that to a to-do list. I think we're... Oh, no, we're not done. I wanted to do this real quick. So let's just do the motor UI. Where... Okay, so we have to just get this motor UI manager the same way we did everything else. It's actually not that hard. We have to set the drone movement to the drone movement script. Oops, I just opened Lightroom. That's annoying whenever you do something like that. One of those things that's hard to quit. Alright, not responding. Good, I didn't want you to. How's my mic sound? It's a little late to be asking. Being nearly done with the stream. Only 30 minutes left, I think. But I don't have my mic in its usual spot, which is usually like right here, pretty close to me. Like it's like one hand away. Now it's up here where I have to reach out. I like it there because it's easier and not in the way. But it also picks up more noise. But luckily, I use this NVIDIA broadcast software to cancel out all the noise. You can hear what it sounds like without the noise canceling. It would sound like this. You'd hear the fan noises, and I also have some music playing. Like, I have the music playing out loud, so I don't have to have headphones on. Sounds good? Okay, good. I also didn't really do a music check. I think it's pretty quiet today, but I didn't really care. If you guys want it louder, let me know. I wanted it quieter. But I could change the volume independently. I was just being lazy. Okay, so this is actually the driving AI. We don't need it anymore. What did I change here? Do I actually want to make changes to the script? Oh, I added comments. Yeah, sure. We'll keep the changes. And the music I thought was a little loud anyways? Really? Okay. So maybe I should make it quieter. Yeah, I love NVIDIA. It's crazy. It's so good. It's also doing the camera right now. Like, that's what's cutting out the background. And it's insanely good. I don't know how it's this good. This is crazy. I don't get it. I used to have a green screen and it wouldn't even look this good. Like an actual green screen. I know it does flicker sometimes, like the chair messes up over here. But for not needing a green screen and not really no setup, it's insane. It's really crazy. Oh, I accidentally turned it off. But I like my background. I was saying it earlier, I don't know if I should leave the background because it looks nice, or maybe that's for not programming. If I'm not programming directly, I'll put the background on. But so I don't take up too much of the screen, I like to do this. I get distracted so easily. We're gonna close that project because we don't need it anymore. So in the choose target, I'm also adding that other UI, the motor UI. So drone UI, get component and children, motor UI manager. We're going to set the drone. It said drone manager. Let's see if it says something. This one's probably private then. Drone movement, yeah. This should show up when I type in the word drone. Oh wait, I don't want the drone movement script. I want the actual... I clicked on the wrong thing. So let's click on the motor UI manager. Let's see. Private drone movement, that's what I need. I'm probably doing this wrong, but that's an easy way to fix it. And then we say drone movement equals, or we do it right here. It's this drone movement script. Nice. Let's see what that looks like. Let's see if that looks good. If I don't need it, I don't need it. I'll shut it off. But I think I'll like it. Are these, my head's probably in the way. I can't even see myself. Okay, no, I'm not in the way. But are these values too small for you guys to see? Because they seem pretty tiny. They'll be bigger if I put if it's running on your local computer, but for the stream, it's probably a little tiny. Same thing with these dots and these. Basically, everything's tinier on stream when you look at it, but I think the text is okay. It's just a little small. Why is it not starting? Should I have to click it again, I guess? Okay, velocity's good. They're not doing anything. I'll have to make sure that after the stream, it doesn't get posted. Unlist live replay, on stream ends. Yep, that's what I want to do. I do want to add it to a playlist. I know that there's a way to do that. I could add it to the, I'm adding it to the live stream playlist, sorry. Hope that doesn't mess up the stream itself while it's running. But okay, I like this. Is it helpful to have less drones to be able to see them better? Possibly. Right now they are moving really fast too. I thought I changed the speed. So what I could do is basically, could I just not show them? What would make the drones disappear? This fixed rotation thing? I think so. So if I take all the drones, turn them off. That's what, there's only a couple drones now. The only thing is that, oh, I actually turned off all the drones completely. Oops. I meant to just turn off the color of them, but I actually turned them off completely. Oh, but they come back next round anyways. I guess that was silly. Yeah, it's actually harder to do that, I thought. But it did look better with less drones. Like for this example, since it's already trained, I don't need that many drones because they already trained. But when you're training them, you want as many as you possibly can. So I actually want to figure out a way to get more drones when I'm training, so they could learn faster. But since they're already trained, you could literally just have one drone and just watch it. That might be better. It's not a bad idea. That's a good, you know, let's try that. Let's just quickly. I wonder if that'll break anything. But I could just change the number of drones. Actually, could I do it from here? If I can't, I should be able to. And I'll add that. So is there a number of drones? Total drones, 70. Let's see what happens when I do one, and I make the mutation rate. Actually, I don't even have to change the mutation rate. This is probably gonna break things because it's saying that I need 10. Let's see what happens after this round. Broke. Okay. Top spots available. Let's make that one. Maybe that's the problem. Let's make that one as well, because it doesn't make sense to have 10 places when there's only one. So this drone's always gonna be in first place, basically. There's only one. If that breaks 2, then I don't know. Might be harder to fix than I thought. Nope, okay, that worked. Now, you're right, it is easier to see what the best drone does. And he'll never change because he's never gonna get mutated. So this is basically what the best drone, what the performance is. So we just make this round time like ridiculous, 400 seconds. We just see him fly around the track and see how far he gets. Because I didn't train them on the full track, he'll probably fall off and stop working. But I do agree with you, it is much easier to see the controls when it's not switching between the drones so often. And when you can see exactly what he's doing. I think it'd be cool to have the camera be behind him too. But basically we updated all the UI today. I still think it looks a little bad. I'd like to make it look nicer, more modern. It looks very odd, but it's cool how you can see each motor moving. I think this would make for a good YouTube video now, with all the controls on the screen. I feel like maybe putting this down here is better, and making it a little bigger. But maybe you don't want everything at the bottom of the screen, because there is already a lot down there. That's really cool. I know it is. It does look pretty cool with just one, because you can basically see what it learned, and it's flying around the whole track now. It might run out of time still, and this is still double speed. You know what? Let's see if I could fly. I haven't done this yet, so it might fail. You need USB-C. Let me go find a cable real quick. Okay. Back. I don't know if I could just plug a controller in and try to fly, or if I'll have to do more. Unplugging my headset doesn't mess up my audio? I don't think it did. Should I just take over now? Sometimes it says like controller connected. Not seeing that. Okay, there goes Xbox One for Windows. I think I am hijacking. Am I? No, it's not giving me control. If I put this drone on, let's see what happens if I put 0 drones. Because I actually don't want any. I want 0 drones except for me. Doesn't scorekeeper, let's make this. This might not work. I think we have to need at least 1 drone. So 0, 0, let's set those to 0. It's breaking. Basically what I want to do is I want to turn this drone on, because I think that's the one that I can control. I can't control it. Oh, you know what? In the drone movement script, I hijacked everything. Which is kind of annoying, because I actually changed the code. I would like to just be able to plug in a controller. But in the drone movement script, maybe not here. Okay, in my neural network, I changed something on the car, so let's find where that is. Scripts, neural network. We change as the output of the network, which is way down here, way down here, way down here. Okay, so drone movement, that custom feed throttle. Okay, so there's somewhere where you could set a custom value in drone movement. Drone movement. Okay. Custom input demo. So right here, get access. Oh, okay, so if I just get rid of these. No. Input type manager. Okay, maybe this is it. I don't know where I did this before. Settings? Oh, there's an editor. Okay, he gave us access to this script, so we've added it. It's probably this drone movement editor. There's gotta be somewhere where I just hijack it. Struggling here a little bit. Let me just make things smaller so I can see more, because this file's ginormous. Did I make a copy of it? I definitely did. Controller? No, this is for the, it's old. How do I figure this out? Where's drone movement? Where am I sitting that? Drone movement, drone movement. Oh, does this script, oh, okay. You wanna know what? So I'm setting the throttle here, but the default for these throttle values are all probably like 0. And this drone actually has a neural network script. So basically what I wanna do is I wanna turn these off. I wanna be able to control it. So let's see if that works. If I click on the screen now, no, still nothing. Brakes. Oh, do I literally just click on joystick instead? I do. Okay. I'm in control now. That was dumb. Okay. Let's change the camera to first person view because I want to just fly around the track, see what I could do. Let's go to first person view and the rotation inside the drone. I usually like it at 45. Let's see what this looks like. Okay, I have no idea. Oh, so the drones start out backwards? That's stupid. Oh god, this is hard to control. Okay, I give the drones more credit than they deserve. I mean, less credit than they deserve. What should I do instead? It's the script, the thing breaks after each round. It is hard. I didn't know that they were starting off backwards. That makes it so much harder for them. Oh wait, maybe it's not actually backwards. Let me see. Let me just pause this for a second. So no, it looks like the drone's backwards. But is the actual drone backwards or is the camera just backwards? Yeah. No, I don't want that. I just want to, oh, gizmos, I want those off. It's hard to move around slowly. Nope, it's definitely actually backwards. There we go. If I just double click on it, why am I being dumb? Yeah. Nope, the camera's facing the right way. That's where I want the camera to go. So the drones start off backwards. That makes it harder for them to learn. For sure. Because they have to learn how to spin around instantly. I thought they were just going forward at the beginning. And I was wondering why they were learning this weird turnaround strategy. That's my fault. Oh, but you know what? This is this drone only. I bet you I fixed the problem with the real drones. So let's just restart this. And you see this rotation here? I think I could just flip this around 80. Is that the right one? 80? Yeah. And maybe make this 0. I just want to start off level. And the thing that I forgot to say is I want to make the next target glow, because I don't know where to fly as a person. It's hard. So yeah, I'm going to fly through here, through there. Oh geez, these are very sensitive controls. And then around here. Maybe that way? I don't know if I even went the right way. It's harder. Okay. I give the drones credit now. That's tough. That could be, I want to do that though. I definitely want to get this so it doesn't break and it gives me an actual score and compare my score to the drone scores. That might be next stream though, because we are running out of time. So let's add that to the to-do list. Let's update all of our changes on Git. Show the screen controls. We did that. And up next is going to be make the next target glow. So viewers and manual control, maybe not so, for viewers and manual control. So when I'm manually controlling it, it's hard to know which target's next. If I missed it or didn't hit it, I would just be guessing. So you saw how before the scores were like very big numbers? I don't want that to happen anymore. I would like them to be more reasonable. Let's put one drone back in here so we can just watch it fly around. I'm going to so I want to fix that. I don't want the scores to be super high. I accidentally did this. So I want it to make score more reasonable. Reasonable. Okay. The reason I want to do that is because then the next thing is I want to show the current score on the screen. So we can know what the score is. Especially if you're flying yourself, you want to know how you're doing. What is going on here? Oh, I don't want that view. So the fact that it's flying this well with such sensitive controls is pretty good, but it's a computer though, so it's much better at those fine adjustments. I didn't realize how hard it was though. I think it's a little too sensitive right now. But people do fly with that sensitive. racing, people that race usually have low sensitivity, but people that do flips and stuff have very high sensitivity when it comes to FPV drones. Let's get this camera back to, I just wanna, well, let's start over one more time. Let's get the camera back to where I had it for not first person view. So third person view, that's what that means. Is this right? Yeah. Okay. I definitely like the stream. I started it basically an hour and a half late, so we made a lot of progress for having basically half a stream. I wonder how much more I would have done if I had the full 4 hours. But I think I'm gonna like doing this weekly, every Saturday. There might be some Saturdays where I have to cancel, but the goal is gonna be to do this weekly. It's a great stream, thank you. I wanna start a new project soon, because the streams are a little confusing when you hop into the middle of a big project like this without seeing the beginning, and I don't have any video tutorials for anybody to catch up right now, so they're really just jumping into a big project and I have no idea how we got here. So I have to explain everything, and it's confusing. But I think I want to start like the evolution simulator. I want to start that over and make a version 2 of that soon. That one I'm excited for, because that was my first like Unity simulation that wasn't, I don't know, wasn't just a small project. Like I actually wanted to make an evolution simulator, and that was the goal. And I set out to do that. So now I want to make an even better version of that, where it's like a evolution simulator, but it's also an ecosystem with multiple creatures, and they're all trying to stabilize the environment, I guess, because it's very hard to get a stable environment in a simulation where all the creatures are surviving. Because usually one creature does better than the rest a little bit, and they take over, and then everybody dies. So it's hard to find a, what's that called? Not stable equilibrium, maybe? I don't know. But that's what I'm gonna try to do soon after I'm done with this project, or maybe in between. Because that evolution stuff is really cool. This is basically the evolution. It's not really the evolution simulator. We're training AI with evolution, but I really liked how the evolution simulator was really simulating evolution, if that makes sense. This is called the genetic algorithm, the way the AI trains. It's basically evolution, but I liked how it was constantly evolving and it didn't have these rounds. Like it actually had the idea of children and parents, where this one is just more round based. So they don't, these drones don't actually reproduce. You know what might be funny? Turning this drone simulation into an evolution simulator and having them have children. So, I mean, it would be drones, so it wouldn't be super realistic. They're not animals, but we could do that and see if they could still learn how to fly towards like pieces of food, basically, like we did before. So instead of getting a score, they would eat food and get hungry, or run out of battery, maybe. That would make sense, making them charge up by going to these charge spots. That could be fun too. I just got another idea. Okay. Anyways, let's finish this up here. We're gonna, so to recap, we got a lot of visuals done today. I'm happy about that. There's a little bit more I want to do because I forgot that I wanted to change the color of the targets. I realized that once I tried to fly. I want to make that score visual show up on the screen. And what else do I want to do? That will be the start for next time. I'll probably think of a lot more to-dos off stream, but I think that's where I'll call it. I like these long streams though. They're much, like, I get a lot done. So if I did this weekly, I'd probably get projects done a lot faster. Even if I do it more often. Like, I'm thinking of definitely streaming every Saturday, but then also if I want to stream during the week, I will. So that's a heads up. And it's possible it might be on Twitch, but if I stream on Twitch, I will try to have the training on YouTube so it notifies both platforms. Anyways, thank you guys for hanging out and watching. Thank you for all the questions. I appreciate it, and I'll